Okay, looks good. So today I'm going to be working more on the inn here, and I'm also playing around with it for scale. So first thing I'm going to do, I guess I'll take you around. I've played with the room scale a little bit. Made the little nook there a little bit larger. Push this back. Move the walls slightly. This is pretty much the same. This I played around with a little bit, but I think this might get played around with more now that we have the ogre model in. And then I basically started where I want to put some kind of like vaulted rooms for the cellars. And then might play around with like maybe a little connection over there, maybe some rooms under here. The only thing I've been given for this is that it's kind of the idea is that it's an area that we can introduce combat in. So it's kind of approaching it as a small little cellar dungeon encounter area. But beyond that, I don't have any particulars. So let's take a look at this as the ogre, because the human model isn't too different in scale. I think it is 1.9 meters, somewhere around there. But our ogre friend, hey NPC Live, how's it going? Has made a couple little changes. Actually, yesterday, this has changed since I did run around in here before I could get in here. So the capsule he's made out of has changed. He's still floating too, so I'm not as worried about height. Although height is probably playing a little bit into this. I am worried about the width. So let's figure out a doorway. These doors, for the inns, we've talked about the, excuse me. I have to go down. There we go. We've talked about wanting the doors for areas that are like services or things like that to maybe be a little bit larger. So these are kind of, in service spaces that we want players to be able to get into, especially right now with the proof of concept only having the one city in it. As we bring people into test, we'll just make it a little bit friendlier. So let's try widening this. I've been wanting to play with slightly wider doors anyways. So let's see if that alone fixes it. Although that is that an I think it's an illusion. Yeah. Sometimes the perspective of the camera almost makes it look like those are not straight. So let's try this. Ogres just smash through the walls like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! Actually, yesterday Sean was getting stuck on my smash through wall spot down in the lower area. Let's see. Is it a width thing that was causing the issue? Oh no, it's the height thing. Although that door does feel good for the ogre. Could definitely be wider though. But I don't know how much wider I want to make it because this is a human city. I'll clean up these ugly edges that are kind of going off everywhere at some point. But I'm just kind of quickly figuring this out because I want to bring it down into the lower area too, since this area is going to be... Oops, hit the wrong button. Or I hit the right button, it's in the wrong zone. But I do not want... I want the newbie areas to be scaled towards the larger races, but maybe not as large as the larger races areas would be. Okay. So I just need to scale that up slightly. That might not be an issue, though. I'm gonna just make note that when we get these guys grounded, to double check if I can bring that down a pinch. Okay, so let's fix these other doors around here now. I think I'm gonna make these doors a little bit thinner and see how that looks. Just for a comparison. There we go. Okay. Now this one definitely needs to get adjusted. Probably going to cause me to have to adjust this wall as well. Let me see. Yeah. Or no. I'm making this really wide, and I don't necessarily want it that wide. This is supposed to be more like a cellar area. Or leading to a cellar area. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So this one still needs to be moved up. Okay, so let's make the first of these areas. Is this? I guess that is 4x4. But why is that? Okay, guess that is 4x4. That's just... not cutting down the middle of it, which is weird. Oh no, I guess it's off center, so that's why my brain is apparently not awake this morning. Oops, I wanted to have that selected. Okay, so that's the height that the ogre ones have been. And then I'm gonna need one more line. Okay. Now I think I also do want this to be arched. Question is, how do I want to do this? Oh, those are not at the same height. That would be what's causing my issue. That looks better. Connect those. Oops. Connect, not collapse. Hey Sean, hey Zukin, how's it going? Move that over there. And I think I'll leave that like it is. I think I'm gonna keep this right now for as one object, and then I'll probably end up breaking them apart later, but personally it's just easier, I think faster for me to model this way. Actually, I should bring up the PureRef document. I meant to do that before I started. So, kind of looking at this type of stuff down here for the cellar area. Something along those lines. Maybe not quite as broken up and stuff like this, but just kind of a nice arched cellar. Move this so I can still see you guys talking. Finishing cooking dinner and watching you enlarge. Nice. Having anything good for dinner tonight? Good morning / afternoon, folks. Hey, Rye, how's it going? So, I think this room is going to be longer. Or maybe do I want to have it as 2 spaces? Or is it going to be 1 long space? Decisions. I suppose I can make it one large space, and I can always kind of break it back up. If I would decide to. Good, good. Looking at block of meetings at work. Oh. My sympathies. Although, you know, it depends on the type of meeting too. Sometimes I do enjoy meetings at times. If you guys couldn't tell, I do enjoy talking. Why? Sometimes Pro Builder drives me crazy when it comes to selecting. It's like, oh, I'm gonna move over here. Oh, see, this is the angle that it decides. Oops, and that wasn't the right edge. So I guess I will use vertices instead. Nothing super fancy. Going Mediterranean tonight. Ooh, that does sound good. I need to learn Pro Builder, maybe tutorials this weekend. It's fairly simple. It's just kind of getting used to looking for the tools as just little words as opposed to like symbols and stuff like that. At least that's how it was for me. But it's actually... Oops, that was... Let me go back and get that selection. I went through the ground. But overall, I found Pro Builder was fairly simple to learn. Again, very limiting in some aspects, which I think makes it easier to learn, but... Oh, yeah, not the fun type. It's the drone on and on type meeting. Yeah, those are the kinds that I'm not a fan of. The ones that go on and on and on. And you're like, why is this a meeting? Seems intuitive. I enjoyed starting to learn Blender. I really need to sit down at some point and spend more time learning Blender. I think the most I've actually ever done anything with Blender was when I was initially messing around with some of the shaded dude files. But I'm so much slower at it than I am with Maya. But yeah, it's fairly intuitive. The only thing is some of the tools are a little annoying, like the cut tool. I find its functionality a little less than desirable. And then I hate that I can't delete edges. Like, that drives me crazy. But it's one of those things, like, if we need to reduce poly count, I can always just export the stuff out and do it in Maya or even Blender. How many was I over? Halfway? That looks right. Oh, it is a pain in the ass if you block out or modify placeholder zones in Blender. No, the only thing that ends up being a pain in the ass with the Blender files is if like I think the biggest pain in the ass was getting the terrain fixed so that it worked with Pro Builder. But now that that's fixed, it's not an issue. And it was one of those things I probably could have fixed completely before having to just like redo it. But it got to a point where I was like, it's just gonna be faster just to kind of try to automate this in some way, or to some point, and then had to go in and clean it up by hand. Hit me up with any questions. I can shoot you my hotkey setup too, if you want it. Yeah, at some point, Zukin, when I have more time, maybe over my summer break, from teaching, I'll have some more free time to actually like devote to learning some more software stuff. Although I'm teaching myself Houdini over the summer too. This, hold on, these are not. These are not even. 1, 2, 3. And then it hits that. So this should be... like that. And this needs to be 1.5. 1.5. Just make sure these are going kind of the same amounts. So that's what, 1, and so that's 1 here and 3/4. So 1 and 3/4. Okay, that is now even. Obvious big boss room. I might break it up a little bit more. When Ali had asked me to make an inn, he asked for a cellar that could be used as a place to kind of introduce combat to newbies. So kind of like a rat infested like cellar essentially is what I'm gathering. So I'm kind of looking at it as a slight dungeon, or at least giving some room options for how we want to fill it out. So I've got this one. I can do another room off of here, or I can maybe extend it down. Undead. The innkeeper's been hoarding skeletons in the basement. I have no problem putting skeletons all over the place. If that's what you guys want. But I do kind of want to put some rooms under here. I'm just trying to figure out also, do I want them to kind of enter from here? Or do we want to enter? So it's not necessarily like straight across the hallway from here. Need more mutilated dwarf corpses. I'm sure I'll be making some of those. Ripping. Well, once you make me a dwarf, Zukin, and then I'll rip it in half and throw it around the level for you. Level zone. Alright, where do I want this? This might be one of those things that, like, walking around in the zone gives me a little bit more of an idea. Half an ogre. Have to make some spike assets to hang all these half corpses. I'm gonna have to play around with this angle. It's kind of more, I think it's too steep to kind of fall down it. I've noticed that with both the human and the ogre. might make the doors slightly wider. That's pretty good. Now, the secondary room, do I want it? Or maybe it's you walk down here and you get it to get into it? That way I have to kind of go down and progress down the hallway all the way? Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll put it over here. Go back to Shaded Dunes. Half a halfling? A quarterling? Okay. So if I'm going this way, let's give myself enough space for passage. I'll give it a 2. And I had those doors at 2, but I said I wanted them maybe a little bit bigger down here. Just so they're, again, more accommodating to the ogre. Since this is a newbie zone, I'll be nice. Okay. Raise the ceiling. Do you want that to be? Okay. So I'm gonna do that as a hall, but I guess I could make this space larger. I may want to run in here with the human too. I'm gonna play around with these walls real quick, and then I want to run in here with the human and make sure that I'm not making everything too large. What's the deal on healing spells, hammering undead? That is a good question for Nick, I would imagine. Obviously I'm playing Final Fantasy music, so I'm a huge fan of Final Fantasy, and I always enjoyed throwing spells at or throwing Phoenix Downs at undead and killing them. All right. So if that's a hall, this room I think needs to be larger, but also because this is a hallway, I'm gonna make the ceiling slightly tighter. Let's bring in the human. He's human. Sean says, you picturing it as a 1-to-1 or a modified effect? 100 heal equal 100 damage. And then Nick Naylor says, I like the idea of heal hammering undead, then having certain mobs that turn you into zombies and tricking you into killing yourself. God, these doors are huge feeling when they're scaled for the door, for the ogres. This is the one that's super tight feeling for the ogre. It feels gigantic. But being a newbie area, I think we're going to have to go with it feeling a little gigantic and just dealing with it, since ogres might not have access to shrinking at this point. That's a big door. The ceiling could probably be brought down to... I think this is where we kind of need to land on somewhere with our scales. I think I'm gonna play around with the height of this a bit. Probably bring the floor up is probably gonna be easier. Except I'm gonna mess up my my doorways in the process. No, I'll bring the ceiling down. This feels good. This just feels large to me. Yeah, Ogre Duck is definitely something that we need. That way we can play around with stuff. Because I was playing around with the doors up here, where like the innkeeper would be. And I widened them a pinch so that the ogre arms don't clip as much. But I ended up having to move that up just a pinch because the ogre wasn't able to walk in. But I think that can be brought back down. Like a quarter of a meter. Once we're able to duck. But this room's actually feeling better for the human. The ceiling feels a little high. Yeah, I moved it up too high. I wanted it to 4. Now that I'm looking at it, I must have nudged it and not noticed it. Did it do both sides? Yes, I did. Okay, let's fix that. Now that I've noticed it. Where am I? Okay. And we'll bring this down to 4. Is that the same over here? Yep, I did that too high over here. 2, 4. This one is correct, and so is this one. So I think the problem that I'm getting with the height is this wall is for height, which is what I'm using for like this hallway and this other area that I like. But the curved ceiling obviously gives it more height because I went from there as opposed to bringing this down. So let's grab this ceiling. Another thing I wish, and there might be a hotkey for this, I just don't know about it. I wish I could just like hold down like tab like I do in Maya and just be able to kind of like paint and select all the faces I want. That would be another lovely addition. Okay, so let's bring this down, but not too much. I just want to make sure I'm not crushing anything over there. Okay, we're good. I'm going to have to come in here and play around with some of these edges and like collapse them down because I'm going to end up causing that weird blacking out. Later, Sean. And hi, Squishy. And I am playing in the infested basement of the inn. Back to Human. Yeah, that's feeling better. Doors are still feeling huge, but whatever. Okay, that's feeling better. It's not feeling like it is really, really tall. I mean, it's still fairly large for a cellar area, but it's also got enough space to kind of have some encounters going on in it. Okay. So let's go back to Shaded Dunes. Probably would have helped if I had stopped playing first, but whatever. And I'm gonna... It's probably a slightly boring part to watch, but I'm gonna go through here and clean up these extra vertices. Oh, did those not... Maybe... There we go. And then once, whoops, I still had one of the ones selected on the other wall, apparently. Once we are done doing this, we'll kind of, I think, flush out these rooms over here. And then figure out what I want to do with these spaces. Do I want to have just two of these that are connected? Do I want one that kind of goes down underneath? I mean, I could... Obviously, there's so much verticality here. I could just keep dropping down, but I also don't want to have this as a giant labyrinth. Every place I build ends up being a giant dungeon space. those. Clean up the edge flow while I'm at it. Not that it's going to really matter here, but... Getting that dungeon practice in before you work on old sublists or lower Guck zones. That'll be fun to get into building like a straight dedicated dungeon zone. Oops, what am I? Oh, I still have the other ones selected. No, that's gonna be fun. Have a little bit of lore and understanding of what the place is supposed to be, and then just going for it will be fun. We going to have a dungeon called Nuck? Or something. If we did, I would have a hard time not making like Three Stooges jokes. Even though it's not necessarily because of Three Stooges that it would be called that, but I hear Nuck and I just can't not think of Three Stooges. And I blame that on my uncles and my father. Upper Thuck. Nayuk. Almost done. And there's Larry, Curly, and Mo. Yeah, they're the named rares in the Nuck dungeon. But one of them starts out as Shemp, and then we revamp the zone and change it. Was it to Curly? I can't remember. I probably just got disowned by my father and my uncles, but... Okay, that is better. More our uncles, yeah. The placeholder Shemp. Oh, the placeholder Shemp. I think it should be a revamp, honestly. Revamp gets rid of Shemp and adds, I think it's Curly. I don't remember. Okay, so I've got this, and I'm just gonna kind of freestyle this right now. Trying to keep hallways around 4 meters wide as encounter space. That might not be consistent everywhere, but kind of like an average. Yeah, you think it was Curly? Can't remember. So I've got some more space here. Maybe this goes down just a pinch. Let's see. Old EQ halls were pretty wide too. Yeah, I've been running around a little bit here and there in some of the zones, and I've been trying to pay more and more attention to the scale of some of the classic zones. But I mean, they weren't consistent everywhere. But definitely been paying attention to that a little bit more lately. And definitely need to go through and make adjustments to some of our stuff just based off of the new models. Where is the Speakeasy Strip Club going to go? Well, that's the one over here. Remember, if you were watching that one, I had the red light in the window. Let's see here. Do we want the doorway? Oh, you missed the red light. it was a very short-lived joke. Again, try to keep the stream PG-13. So, do I want it where you come right around the corner? And there's the room, or do you progress down the corner? Something more like this, I think. Oops, did not want that still attached. And we will that. Oops, did I miss? Oh no, I'm good. 2 meters on the doors, correct? Yeah. Yes. I would have trouble as a level designer. Oh, trolls don't fit? That sucks. Go find another dungeon. That will be happening. That is definitely something I will be doing at some point. The only reason I'm being a little more generous right now is because this is like a newbie area. The idea is a newbie area for the proof of concept. So anybody who's planning on joining us in the proof of concept, who's going to be playing a large race, will thank me later. But after we get more and more places in, I may even come back and rescale the doors. You might not find it as welcoming to large races, but we shall see. That's a nice little space. And then we'll move this down here. Oops, you know what? I meant to... Oh, excuse me. I meant to have a like a door frame on top. So let's bridge. Oops, helps if I grab the right edge. Those edges back together, and these are going to be really high right now. That's 2 meters. Oh, that's right. I forgot I had it on a slower snap. I'm like, why is this not snapping? Like my brain is trying to register it like it's going to. It just not my morning apparently. Okay. So that is 1, 2, 3. Oof. Hold on. Let's fix this. And we will connect those two. So I should be able to cut that extra poly out of the floor. What? Oh. That would do it. I have an edge here, I just don't have one there. And I'll just fix these while I'm at it. There we go. What is going on with this edge? Okay. Better. Okay, I think I've got all of the little things I screwed up when I extruded that one. Face back. I should have just taken the time and moved it properly, but whatever. It is fixed. And let's just clean up these edges. There we go. All right. So we've got that. Let's take a look at what we have. Problem is I don't have a whole lot of space to move the camera. Walk in there, kind of come down. We'll do another room off of here. That's 4. I didn't actually go in here to remember to make this 4 high. There we go. Oops. And another doorway right there. My authenticator isn't working on my PC. RIP. Can't log into Twitch. Gotta use phone. How are you? Oh, that stinks. Yeah, you gotta. I have a love-hate relationship with authenticators. I had my whatchamacallit hacked. My Lotro account hacked by gold farmers years ago. That was annoying. But after that, I've done all that extra crap. But man, is it annoying trying to log in when they stop working or it breaks. Ugh. But it's a lot better than getting hacked. I'm doing much better than that. Again, sucks. I wish that I hope that gets resolved for you soon. Is it the Authenticator app itself, or is it just specifically your Authenticator with Twitch? I find password vaults and generators more effective. Yeah, I just hate. I don't know. I hate we have to shield ourselves like that, like that people are just dicks. This is gonna be a tighter hallway, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just do that. Should we get enough spot for a couple mobs? Less a hallway, more of a hallway room-ish thing, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I started using a password vault thingy, and it's super nice. Yeah, Twitch isn't sending the SMS. I assume I'll get 5 invalid codes all spammed in half an hour. Yeah, I've had stuff like that happen too. I love like one of my friends specifically, whenever I send her gifts, they never go through, and they never come through to my phone either, like right away. And then it's just like, you know, the next day or like 2 days later, when the gif is no longer relevant to like the timing of a joke, you'll get like a random gif, and you're like, what? when it absolutely has no context. Do I want to do that? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it like this, I think. Bring this over here. Something like that. So Ali, I'm finishing up the inn, and like at least the spaces that were requested by Ali, before I move on to the concept that we were talking about yesterday. So I'm just trying to get these areas kind of functional, and was rescaling some of the doors so our friends the ogres could also access the newbie area. But right now I'm just kind of adding in the cellar area, which is like an area that's going to be used to introduce combat. Or that's kind of what I was told. So I'm just kind of creating a little, essentially, where am I? Essentially kind of like a little newbie dungeon area to some degree. Might do another spot over here, and then there's some spots where we can have hallways and rooms, whether they're, you know, full of rats or undead or whatever. I need to play around with some of the ceiling heights in some of these spaces, but I kind of like this being lower, but that's probably too low now that I'm actually really playing around with the camera. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Finishing off this before I start working on some other scale stuff. Actually, let's take a look at this with our our ogre friend. Oh, excuse me, guys. Ooh. All right, so that was whoop. Undead rats, you say? I think there has been a... Whoa. He's still there. It's human. Oop. I apparently miscalculated the height of that door and all these doors, so I'm going to have to go fix those. At least until we get the duck working, which is going to be important. Can I like... Can I sit? Maybe I can I spell? Try to see if there's any ways I can, like, trick the game controller into letting me in there. Bye, human. So let's fix those so that Fadis here can make it in. Okay, so he's got run speed buff on? Yes, he does. Somehow magically all of my characters get boots of speed when they're made. I don't know how that happens. It's like magic. So this is all gonna have to be raised up. I know, just so lucky. They're just blessed by their gods. Let's see. This up. 4. And 4. Okay. This also needs to be moved up a pinch because I did not make that to 4. There we go. Apparently I cannot count because I did that here too. There we go. Okay, so let's hop back in here. Excuse me. Apparently I overcompensated with these walls. I'll fix those in a second. I don't know, it almost feels like this should just be one room. These are just two tiny little areas, but they could be just little storage areas. So I'll leave them like that, I guess. And pop back over here. And we will fix this one. Nope, that one's good. That one, and that one. Much better. Okay. So, save. And we will... The ogre is a... that ogre is a goddamn chunker. Yep. He's chunky for sure. Need to clean up some of my characters. Okay, so let's take a look real quick again with the human. Oh, that is a huge doorway. Maybe I do want to bring that. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it. And then these will be little storage spots. And I could bring this further, but I think this is probably more than we need for this area already. Just need to figure out what to do with this spot, and then get this spot worked in. And let's also do a bit of set dressing. Models, props. It's like a good area to store some barrels. Oh, let's turn off grid snapping. And throw some crates. You know what? This is probably taking up too much room like that. Let's... there. Maybe we'll do a... kind of stack of them over here. I mean, granted, I'm not probably going to be the one going in here and populating it, but I kind of like being able to have a a spawn over there, and then, you know, maybe a spawn over here. Putting both of those right there was just taking up too much space. Oops, if you grab the right access. These floating? Yes, they are. And they are also not against the wall. Let's do that as well. Much better. I don't know if I want to bring a table down here. More of storage. Oh, my music stopped playing. Apologize to anybody who was listening to that. That's probably enough for now. Obviously, I could throw some more stuff down in here at some point. So here's the question. Maybe we'll make another one of these. So, I mentioned I was going to potentially do this earlier. I'm just going to break this off. Oops. All of that. And we will just detach faces, duplicate, oh, helps if I'm on the grid. Okay, so that should work. I'm gonna have a little bit of stuff to do as well, playing around with to get this snap right, but we will delete those faces, snap those in. Good. Ah. Delete that. Oop, not detach. I want to delete. There we go. And then oop. Oh shoot. Come on. Double check how I had this over here. Yep, that's what I did. Over here. Oop, wrong one. There we go. Move that out of the way. I'm just gonna delete these faces. Because Pro Builder was being annoying, trying to select those. And we'll move this back like so. And then let's attempt, let's do a save. And we will attempt to bring these back together. Well, actually, you know what? I really only need to worry about the floors. Let's just bring the... No, let's just do the whole thing. And... merge objects. And now I've got the edges here. Or these vertices are not going to be snapped together, so... you guys get to watch me do the fun part of sewing this all back together. And then I'll have to do it again, so you get to watch it twice. Aren't you guys lucky? Just like my characters getting boots of speed randomly. Whenever they're created. You guys are just lucky you get to sit here and watch me slowly stitch together geometry. For anybody who doesn't do 3D modeling, this process is actually a lot faster if you're using like Maya. You can just like marquee select by like dragging over it, select both of them, and then just hit merge and it does it. But yeah, this Pro Builder does not let you do that, as far as I know. Again, if anybody knows any tricks with Pro Builder that I'm not aware of, please do share them. Whoop. Oh, these two aren't going to have vertices. Oh, I'll have to do those in a second. Okay. All right. And now to use my favorite tool. In Pro Builder, the cut tool, which always likes to fight me. There we go. Okay. So we've got two of these. And I want to do maybe I don't. But I do want to add in a oh, excuse me. I want to add in a fountain here, so we'll do 6-sided because I want it hex shaped, and we'll make it 5x5. And this is off of the some of these reference shots I have. I really like these. Oh no, they're octagonal, not 6-sided. Let's redo that. 8-sided. And we will rotate this 23 degrees. Or is it 22.5? That it? I should really know this because I've used it a million times, but yeah, I think it's 23.5. But yeah, the Kara Bansarai examples all had these cool little fountains. So I'm gonna build a little fountain. Kind of like this, where it's on the square. I may do that. it. I'm gonna work on centering this at some point. And now we just need to square this off. Ooh, you know what? Maybe I just want to do these edges on the outside. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright. We'll just do it this way then. Weird. I wonder if that's something we updated the version of Unity we're using. I'm wondering if there's a slight change in the tool because I can't just make an individual part snap to the grid anymore. Or maybe okay. Let's redo that again. I can, I just have to do it in vertices. Nope. Okay. Weird. I can, however, snap to vertices now, which is nice. Although it's not as nice in a zone like we have here with Night Harbor, just because there's so much going on. When you try to snap to vertice, it's like snapping to stuff way down in the sewers. No, it'd probably be easier to do it this way. Let's... delete those faces. And those faces. And then create a cube. Make it... I made this one 5 by 5. Let's make this 8 by 8. By 10. There we go. Delete that face. sometimes the selection is so finicky. Oh, come on. There we go. Nice. And then we don't need this. Okay, so now that is my center. Oops. Oops. Also, forgot to bridge that one apparently. Like that. All right, let's take a look. And I press play like an idiot without going to the proper zone. Alright. I will run around as the ogre first. So if anybody is not familiar with our game, we are making an indie MMO. Halfling Bard. Excuse me. We're making an indie MMO that is heavily influenced by the first generation MMOs, like EverQuest. It's feeling pretty good. And I am primarily working on the environment art, and this guy's fat butt can't get through. Oh no, it's not his fat butt, it's his low head. And yeah, so we are creating a indie MMO. We are in the middle of our proof of concept. We're in the middle of reworking the cities and playing around with some different shapes and stuff like that, which I'll be doing more and more on my... Let me put on GM speed. On my streams as we're kind of starting to work on the layout and stuff in the background. But you can see here we've got our little newbie yard. The area that I'm working on right now is also meant to be a kind of a introduction to combat type area. So kind of gave it a little bit of a small dungeon flavor. I'm not necessarily quite happy with the large rooms, but I might play around with those a little bit more. So See, our skeletons die now. But yeah, so we've got, you know, a bunch of different zones. We've got some dungeons and stuff over here. We have underworld zones, outdoor zones. We got some water zones and stuff that we're planning on doing as well. I can show you guys, if you haven't caught my last 2 streams where I was working on this. Trolls are so blind. Where am I? Is it down further? No, it's not down further, because this is... Yeah, this is not where I want to go. This is where I want to go. So here's one of our deep zones that I've been working on. Playing around with the mushrooms. Playing around with getting them how kind of want them to look. Playing with different colors and what the color scheme would look like. I was playing around with two-tone colors as well. This is the only one that is currently still in the zone. The other ones I think were just too distracting and felt too off of this. But I like the purple and the pink. I think Sean was saying he liked those ones as well. Ooh, you know what? These ones don't have collision. I may have to turn those on. These ones were were painted in with the poly brush, so that is probably why. Although these ones, why did some of them get them and some of them didn't? Anyways, I'll have to play with that. But we got all sorts of different shapes and different colors. We've got some deep beetles that are all glowy. But yeah, so let me run back. It almost looked like that glow. We talked about eventually adding some like bioluminescence to this. I don't know the shader all that well. I need to take a look at it. I think it's probably scripted though, so I'm probably not going to be able to to edit it. I do most of my material work in node graphs, since I am more of an Unreal person, and Unreal is node based. Where is the zone line? Or does this drop us here and I can't get out here? Hold on. I think the zone line out is actually over here. So we may have to fix that now that I'm actually like going both ways. I may have realized that something got switched. Love the different colors of mushrooms. Thank you. Yeah, just playing around with them a bunch over the weekend and last week. Why am I... Oh, ogres might not... I think ogres might not have swimming yet. Uh-oh, am I gonna drown? Now I'm not gonna drown. Where am I? There we go. I think ogre swimming might be broken currently. Oh no. As I go back into the water. I think I may have put myself on the island. Yes, I put myself on the island. So now I gotta find my way. Over there. Pretty pretty sure over here is where the other zone line is. Where are you, zone line? It's so dark. There we go. Oh, no, they must have just changed. Someone must have changed the zone lines. Okay. So yeah, we're over here. We've got another outdoor zone that kind of will lead to a dungeon. Although the dungeon that we have is right over here. And I zoned, so I need to be careful. Because my invulnerability is back off. So, if anybody has not seen our current dungeon, alright, so I shouldn't aggro anybody. The skeletons have glowy eyes, they're just currently turned off, but so we've got this little dungeon that I reworked the geo a week or two, maybe 3 weeks ago now. God, time is going so fast. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so it's kind of a little nice classic feeling zone. You can actually fall into that zone that I was just in from this. Should turn Agar on and make a massive train for testing purposes. I may or may not have already done that over the weekend. But I could do it for entertainment purposes. I have invulnerability on, right? Yes, okay. I'm like, I'm about to get murdered otherwise. Yeah, when we got the glowy eyes working with the skeletons, I was like, I want all the glowy-eyed skeletons chasing me around. So I might or may not have aggroed every single thing in Fallen Watch, and then stood there as they attacked me. Time flying. I feel like you guys are making a ton of progress. Oh yeah, no, we feel the same way. Like it's really, really nice to see all of the progress that is being made. And I mean, we've been making progress on a lot of this stuff anyways. But it's being made in a way that it's all getting like integrated and kind of brought together in a way that you can actually start to feel what the game is going to feel like with all the elements, the sound, the music, the animation, the characters, the armor actually attaching to the characters, the lighting, the environments, and stuff like that. So it's been really fun. A couple weeks for sure. For the team, and I you guys as well, just being able to see the game kind of really come alive. I think this is everybody. There are a couple more places in the zone, but I'm not gonna be able to. We don't have the nav mesh. Nav mesh is linked so that they'll jump between the different places. But here comes the train. I'm gonna move over here. Ooh, that's a big skelly. Ooh, there's the boss. Hit. Oh, not too bad. Considering I have like the entire zone on top of me. Can I even hit the boss? I'm level 1, so I'm doubting that. So can I hit anybody? So much combat spam. And miss. And miss. And miss. Yeah, I'm pretty sure because I'm level 1 still, everything in this zone is going to be, like, super red to me. Do I get experience for a slash kill? No, I do not. Alright, I'm gonna run out. Hopefully no one's running in, because they're about to get a nasty surprise. Like Nick, Sean, Zukin, somebody runs in there, like, as I'm running out, and zones into the entire zone standing on them, minus, like, 4 things that I just killed. But yeah, definitely time is flying. And I think for, you know, certain parts I think are going to keep coming together pretty quickly, for sure. And then especially as the city stuff, because concept-wise, we kind of have an idea of what we want to do. Me and Goblin have kind of talked that over. We just got to get the city layout down as well. This looks pretty good from the ogre's scale. Let's try human again. Human. It's Fatis. Yeah, that feels like a good scale for a nice little place to gather around. So another functionality that Ali had asked me for when he wanted me to redo the inn. For anybody who has not seen the original inn, this one was not designed with anything in mind. These are some these are some buildings that are more than likely going to get deleted. I was trying to rough some stuff out and I didn't like how it was turning out. But this section, which we all kind of like, there might be some scale issues and stuff like that. Actually, this is the first time I've walked into here with the character model. It's actually feeling a little bit better than I thought, than I anticipated it would. It's a big chair. I mean, it's like right height, but it just feels really large. Now that I have stuff in here. But this whole thing was done as like an inn. But the innkeeper area is up here. And then there's a nice little like dining area out here. Innkeeper's room. Individual little rooms. So these were kind of the larger rooms, and then you had the smaller ones down there. But, you know, that was just kind of thrown together. I was just kind of freestyling and seeing how the kind of structures that we were talking about might work. But Ali wanted one that can hold, that can be like an AFK area to help find groups. So like LFG tool support potentially. And then it needed an innkeeper area. So here's the new innkeeper area. Doors and stuff obviously have not been brought in. I was holding off until we locked in the character. And the character, I think height is locked in. I think we still have an issue where the collision capsule for the character is still a little bit below their feet. So that'll get fine-tuned. But then we also needed So we needed the innkeeper to be able to like interact with and buy stuff from, and then the kitchen. So this is kind of like where the kitchen is going to be. I need to create like ovens and stoves and cooking type stuff. So I'm thinking in here, you know, maybe have like a kind of a curved oven, and then maybe more of like a grill, like trough style. Actually, I have the document open. So kind of, you know, your more clay oven look, but also I kind of like this. Where I thought I had a better picture of it. I think this is from Pompeii, where they had kind of like a big trough, and they would just pour a bunch of lit coals in there to cook stuff. So kind of playing around with the combination of those. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, so just a trough full of stuff. And then this area will get decorated kind of as a pantry. So, you know, some crates and maybe some like herbs projected on the wall, like herbs hanging from the walls, kind of like projected type of thing. Something like that. And then you've got your dungeon, which I need to change. I need to fix the slope of this. This is, I think, too extreme. So I need to maybe bring this back a meter or two. And then, you know, these are areas that you can introduce. We can introduce players to combat. I might play around with because these are very large. I might either break them into smaller sections, so like have, you know, like a doorway here, or maybe like a tunnel going this way and meeting into the center, something like that. They feel a little just like silos right now, or hangars. Then this little area over here that we just worked on can be little like storage areas, wine cellar. It's been overrun by rats or undead or something like that. But yep, that's kind of what I've been working on. And let's not jump to the zone. Let's actually get there correctly. Okay, so all good. What was there was something that I was thinking about fixing from that run around. What was it? Oh, this. Let's try that. And I may do this and then take this edge here and just move this up. Something like that. All the people AFK looking for groups and newbies hanging out. Train them from the bottom of the end. that could be funny. I don't know, maybe we'll have guards or something around too to prevent that type of thing from happening. Or, you know, maybe we maybe that's desired immersive gameplay. But eventually I also want to get excuse me. I'll try this with the ogre. I want to get other rooms and stuff in here, but they're more facade type things. There's no functionality designed for them yet, but like little in rooms along the sides here, and then a second tier, kind of like. Where is is it? Kind of like these ones, where there's like a second tier. Although I like these ones with the kind of walkway around. So play with that a bit. I might even play around with the dimensions of this, because this is not quite a perfect square right now. So I might either extend these walls a bit or bring this in a little bit tighter. But 50 players, I probably extend it out a pinch. But let's go check that ramp, make sure it feels a little bit better. And actually, let's take off GM speed. A little better. It's still, I guess, too steep. Also, some of this might come from like just character controller work. As we adjust stuff. I actually need to mention that. Where is it? We have a couple spots where like the ogre, or at least yesterday the ogre wasn't stepping up onto stuff that the ogre should have been able to step up onto. But these guys got implemented like 2 days ago. So there'll be some fine tuning for sure. Ready for gnomes to get in, so we can see the game from their perspective too. Oh yeah, me too. I've been wanting to have the ogres and gnomes in for a while, just because, you know, for me as the environment guy. Oh yeah, I forgot he passed through the he passed through the wall. I dropped this in the middle of an old area, so that all their paths will get updated, but eventually. But as the environment guy, you know, having those kind of scale marks that feel good, that we know we want, is pretty important. So, you know, here's our little gnomish area. Surican, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But, you know, here's our little gnomish area, so the ogres can kind of look in. Here's what, this is super old. This is from probably November-ish. But this is one of the older rough outs of the troll. And then, you know, it didn't quite fit with our concept art, so this one is more accurate representation. Although I think there's still some tweaks and stuff that we want to do to him. But, you know, this is more ogre scaled. It's not necessarily perfect, and I never really touched it up, but was playing around with like how high does an ogre ceiling feel. But all this needs to get adjusted now that we have this guy in here and I can see him, because I'm not judging this from our like old capsule guy who wasn't quite the right size for a human. Can he get into some of this stuff? I don't know. Nope. Which probably means we can't get into the secret area. Which isn't so secret because we show it on stream all the time. Nope, can't get in there. Definitely need duck soon. We haven't had them run around down there, but no, I want collision off. Why can't I go? There we go. I doubt he's going to be able to make it through. Yeah, he can't. He's too tall. Yeah, Sean was mentioning that too. That's definitely a priority, is to be able to get duck in. Let's turn the collision on. I really like the ogre running around, not gonna lie. Getting the human in there soon, with some animations. Nice. Yeah, it would be nice to have some solid animations running for all of our guys. I think the ones the humans have are placeholder, if I remember correctly. If I remember what Ali was saying. There we go. No. No collision mode off. Okay. There we go. I haven't walked around in here with the ogre yet, so let's take a look and see how this... Whoa! What is going... Hold on. Well, that's not good. Uh-oh. Disable flying, didn't disable collision. Yeah, I noticed that. That was a bad call on my part. Let's fly back up. Just really slowly. Hold on. Slash time set 7 a.m. Oh man, I'm I'm really far down there. Can I make it? Just following the lights as I'm somewhere in a water volume. Some super fast fall speed. Hey, we made it. Now where am I? Helps if I could spell collision right. Collisions now enabled. Okay, let's attempt to get back into that area. Oh, I have fly mode on still. Yep. Is that the animation you did for it, Goblin? I think I saw that you did excuse me. I saw you did a stream after Zookins yesterday. I fell asleep during Zookins and then woke up like hours later, like half half awake, and saw that it was you were streaming, and I was like, what happened? I was out of it, to say the least. mode. Disabled. Collisions on. Yay! Can he fit through here? Oh, nope. The adjustments. He can't fit his tubby butt through the... I fixed it so that Sean could walk through yesterday. I don't think he did. But... there's a 3-part jump also. Nice. Alright. We have... Will I survive and have to clip through to get down here? Oh, this is sketchy. Oh boy. my stomach just kind of dropped there for a second. I wasn't sure if I was actually gonna make it. I eventually do want to fix this still so that like you're up higher longer. Well, hello there. Where'd you guys come from? I'm assuming these guys are from... Are they from the Necro area? Or are these like somebody testing some stuff out down here that I didn't know about? Oh boy, someone's putting some people down here. There's some cultists. That's exciting. I didn't know this would happen. We've got cultists hanging out in the cave system. Let's go on an adventure and explore and see if there's anybody else hanging out around down here. Nobody's in that area. We were already up here, but I don't think there was anybody up here with us. Nope. Just some random naked dudes in a cave, don't worry. They're just living their life. Although he's clearly not robed. That's a distinct lie right there. I see lack of robe. Anybody else home in the caves? Definitely a nudist cult. Good point, for sure. I wonder if there's anybody else hanging out. I do not like this room. This room needs to get fixed. Let's go down to the bottom portion of this cave system and see if anybody's hanging out down there as well. I'm like half tempted to try to kill them, but I know I wouldn't be able to do it on this character because he's only level 1. Oh, what's over here? Ooh, there's an ooze. Oh boy! Oh boy! Okay. Now I'm not gonna die. The ooze is not my friend, apparently. But he's gonna follow me. I've got a little green stalker. Anybody else down here? That's exciting. I didn't know any, I didn't know Nick or Sean had, or Lee. I'm not sure who did it. I didn't know anybody was putting guys down here. I wonder if there's anybody up here. So if you want to leave this area, you have to drop down this floor to get back to the previous area. The ooze is probably going to stop following me because I doubt that nav mesh is linked. So he can no longer get to where I am. Actually feel like the scale of this doesn't feel too bad when you're playing as the ogre. Probably feels gigantic right now. Oh well, height wise it probably feels high for the human. Tubby can't get through the doorway. Get your chunky butt in there. Let's see. Hey Paytas, what design ideas do you have to help players navigate vast dungeons like this? Do you use props or different lighting to help the user recognize where they are? Will there be maps? So maps, in-game maps will not be a thing. This area I've done a little bit more with, but you know, it's still very limited on terms of textures. But textures and lighting, you know, having little prop areas where it's like, okay, you know, this is where the table is. Maybe there's a map or something like on the table, or coins or something like that. You know, this area, which I can't get my tubby butt into, has some barrels, and there's like a little chest area, or not chest. There's a little whatchamacallit over there, box, a crate. This area, eventually I want to put like water in here, so it's like a little bath or something. So there's that. So, you know, just kind of trying to make little areas that can either be identifiable as camp names or things like that. You know, this area is kind of like unfinished, like there's a cave and they're kind of just building out. I want to improve this. This is a really quick stack of bricks, but essentially, you know, it's like a little construction site, so maybe like some wooden scaffolding or something like that, with, you know, something hanging from a rope, that's going to be dropped on there, kind of like a crane pulley system, type of a thing. Just to kind of think of different ways of identifying like what the area is. So set dressing, some of it will be with lighting. I know we were talking about that on Sean was talking about that on his stream, a bit with the mushrooms, kind of defining, you know, different areas with different colors and things like that. Can I get, yep, I can get my fat butt up through there, but I can't get it through this door. Yep, and I'm stuck. So it'll be probably a combination. What just happened? Oh, I think the zone just zone just repopped. So now I'm not stuck. But yeah, just kind of like a combination. Lighting, you know, depending on what the zone, like what thematically makes sense for each zone is kind of how I'm looking at it. So if, you know, it makes sense to have a blood streak across the ground, it might be a blood streak going across the ground. It might be, you know, you know, it could be water, it could be lighting, it could be just a big point of interest off in the distance that you go, ooh, you know, kind of like we already have with what is going on? I think the repop messed with my stuff a little bit. But anyways, the Fallen Watch kind of being out in the, out here outside the city when I eventually get to a point where I can kind of see where it is. Almost there, guys. Got a lot of weight to carry. Almost there. Almost there. But it's kind of up over in this area, so if I time set. Oh, sounds like my son's home. Time set 7 a.m. You can kind of see it off in the distance. So some, potentially even within zones where you see something that's kind of cool and you're kind of like, ooh, there's something over there, and you're navigating around with the idea of going in that particular direction. So there'll be a little bit of that done as well. Hey, bud. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hello. What is that? Is that a new model?
Yeah. You didn't see the ogre yesterday?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the ogre?
Yeah, it's the ogre.
There's some armor on.
Yep, he's got some armor on him.
And a sword.
Yep. Looking cool, huh? But yeah, I'll be playing around with different things like that as we go through, and like I said, I think it's going to be what makes sense thematically for the different zones, and the way we want to do the zones. Oh, and he's going to try to kill me. Come here, skeleton. Awesome. Give me 1 minute, and I'm almost done with the stream. Yeah, so it'll be different depending on the different zones and what we want thematically. I know me and Nick were talking about potentially, re-looking at the layout of Deep Dunes, because it was just it was really quickly thrown together without any particular idea behind it, and making it more, sectioned off and it not necessarily completely sectioned off, but that it has more of a some sort of flow to it. But we'll be talking more about that in the future. So getting towards that time. So for anybody who has been watching and is not familiar, we are creating an indie MMO that is heavily influenced by the classic first generation MMOs. So EverQuest is a really big excuse me influence for our game. If I could actually articulate words. Apparently my brain doesn't want to do that right now. But that link I just put in chat is for our website. It's a great place to go to check out more information on our game. We also have a Discord that's over 600 people, maybe 620. It's been a bit since I've checked it out, but we've got a decent sized community there. We have all sorts of conversations about our game and game design in general, or just other games. So feel free to hop in there, ask us questions, get to know the team. All of the developers are in there. So be awesome to join. If you don't want to join Discord, but you do want to remain up to date on what's going on with the game, join our mailing list. It might also be important to join our mailing list for testing purposes and stuff. We're hoping our goal for this year is to kind of try to get some members of the community in to test and play the game with us a bit. So hopefully we get that. We've been making a ton of progress, as you guys can see. So I think that should be something we will be able to hit. You're welcome for the stream. These are the other streamers on the team currently. So Sean streams. He does development streams and testing. Kind of showcases a lot of the other content. Zukin does character and critters. Goblin does concepts. He also does, I don't think he's streamed any. Oh no, I guess yesterday he streamed some 3D animations. But he has done some character work for us and some texture work and things like that, as well as animations. So, he did all these. Oop, and I'm still flying. Fly mode on, so that's why I'm being weird. And then Nick is doing development and Q&A streams, so you can see him do some design work, doing some testing work, and writing up bugs and things along those lines. Also, Ali, although he hasn't been on doing it on Twitch, he's been uploading stuff to YouTube, which is right here. So he did a he uploads videos as he gets the chance to. The programmers don't stream as much just due to the nature of what they're doing. They can't necessarily show all of the the code that they're working on. But can I repop it? Yeah, sure. Repopped. And then the last one there is our YouTube. So if you have not already, we would appreciate if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel for us, just to help us get out there. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, and comment below, all that type of stuff to help us out with the algorithm. We really appreciate it. But if you don't want to catch our streams on Twitch, that's a good place to go. We post all of our VODs up there, so you can catch any of the streams you've missed. Actually, I need to upload my stream from Monday after I get off of this, because I forgot to upload that this morning. So I'll upload that. Also, if you are watching on Twitch or on YouTube and you want to join in on the live streams, follow me at Paytus the Ranger on Twitch. The link should be in the description somewhere below. And then my streams are Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Although I do start early sometimes on Wednesdays. I started a little early for this stream. Also, I might be doing some bonus streams over the weekends, whether it's art, environment art related, or if I'm just playing P99 or something like that. I may stream those as well. But with that, guys, I am going to call this a stream. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will talk to you guys on Monday. Later. Actually, you know what? Let me try this again. Keep messing with it. Nope, didn't work. One of these days I'll get it working.